Come on in, y'all. Have a cup of tea with me and let's chat. I want to talk about Miss Pinky. I hope you've been watching Arco TV. But Miss Pinky is a strong, older woman. She's one of them older women, that been through some things, that made it through. But one thing about Miss Pinky, she don't tell her business. She don't put her business out there. But for some reason, you can see that this woman went through some things, and she made it through with God. Like a lot of us can. We can make it through with God. We might think we can't make it through, but we can, God is there for us. But anyway, Miss Pinky, tell you just a little bit about Miss Pinky. See, Miss Pinky was found in a trash can with the umbilical cord still wrapped, around the navel, whatever. So when she her mother left her in this trash can, they walked away, But a God-fearing woman found Miss Pinky and raised her up, to be a believer in Christ. And Miss Pinky turned out to be pretty good. Yeah, she went through some things in life, She had, went through some rough roads, until she made it through. And she's still making it. But anyway, I'm not going to tell you too much about Miss Pinky. But Miss Pinky got a surprise for y'all, So when you see Arco TV, don't scroll. Take a minute and just watch it. You can get a lot of wisdom out of Miss Pinky's story, but she has a surprise for you, You might look at this woman and say, no way. But you know what? We got to watch who God uses, because when God decides to touch somebody and say, I'm going to use you, that's what happens. We have no control over anything. But Miss Pinky, like I said, she's been through some things, she know how to, get on them knees and pray. And like I say, sometimes sure she done got ugly sometimes in her days, got on her knees and cried and everything. But like I said, if you look at Miss Pinky's story, you can get a lot of wisdom out of Miss Pinky's story. But she has a big surprise for y'all. So I know you're gonna like. Well, anyway, I'm gonna have me some tea, and I'll see you.